Hello, everybody. Today we have a very, very important topic to discuss, which is on RDS 81346. So, what is it and how it is useful as part of plant maintenance or EAM's implementation from the standards perspective, because it is a fantastic standard for engineering, design, plant maintenance, reliability, and it has evolved over the years, and now everybody is looking at this standard and what wonders it can do, and how much value it can add to those organizations who are asset centric. And in this context, PiLog has made a decision that we would like to really contribute towards this. We would like to promote it. We would like to honestly um, recommend it to those practitioners who are actually building their systems around the plant maintenance, reliability, asset criticality, and so on and so forth. So, let me just also brief you about this whole webinar series. It's a series. So, today is actually the intro, it's just a trailer wherein we will have the introduction, brief introduction to RDS, how it is used, and who are those ERP players that are using, especially SAP. SAP is building some of their core applications in supply chain management, such as asset performance management, based on the RDS 81346. And how is it going to add value from the solutioning perspective? And how do you design the systems, which is actually a industrial system object? And that's what it is referred even by SAP as part of their APM solution. So here we are with our first episode of this webinar, and wherein we have brought in some experts. So this is the time for you to get introduced to the experts. Let me invite on stage Anders. Welcome to this webinar series. Anders has been in this industry and especially contributing to RDS 81346. He has been expert. Can you give a quick intro, Anders?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. Very great to be here. I'm happy to talk about this topic, which I love. So, I am a senior expert in RDS and the standard series 81346 series. I have around 10 years cross-industry experience in applying this and making use for it in asset management perspectives. Looking forward to talk about it.
Thank you. So we have another expert joining us, Mr. Ram Bhaskara. So he has been, an expert in plant maintenance and EAM solutions, and especially focusing, on SAP. So Ram, would you just give a brief intro?
Thanks, Dr. Imad, and thanks for this opportunity. Myself, I'm Ram Bhaskara. I come with 30 years industry experience working in power plant design engineering, maintenance, and then into business consulting as well as SAP product consulting. I come with an engineering background with a double masters in economics and operation business techniques. So these standards which we are talking about are how it will be useful for us. Probably we can discuss and share throw some light on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. We have also another senior advisor, industry expert, Harald. Harald also has been in the industry for several years. Harald, would you like to give a quick intro?
Thanks a lot, Imad, for having the opportunity to join in. It's going to be an interesting series. We're going to talk around this topic. My expertise and history and within this area is really focusing on using these standards of how we can create the interoperability from a machine point of view, but also from a human perspective. That's the key driver from my perspective over the years within the industry. So that's kind of the drive and the expertise I'm bringing into this. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, all the guests. Let us just see who is joining. We have quite a few people who have joined. We have people joining in from different locations. Guys, just drop in from where are you joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions, because this is the moment for all of you to know more about RDS 81346. And if you have any specific challenges as well, please post them. We will actually show those comments or your remarks on screen. So welcome everybody. I see quite a few have joined already, and hoping that there will be a few more. Now let us dive into this. Now, if we look at the agenda of it, what's the agenda? Now, what's the purpose? Let's look at that purpose. We would like to introduce the concepts of RDS 81346, specifically focusing on SAP's asset performance management, and what could be the challenges, or what are those challenges that we are facing, and how are we going to navigate through these challenges and unleash those opportunities. So that's the whole purpose of this. And we will deeply dive into, in the as part of the entire series, we will deeply dive into SAP's APM and SAP's plant maintenance, why we need an APM solution, and how RDS 81346 can integrate into SAP's APM solution. So those are the things that we are going to dive. Now, agenda, like I said, it's an introductory one. We'll just talk about some of the challenges in asset management industry and what are the different enablers for RDS 81346, and then what are the deployment strategies. I just want to also pay a little bit of attention to the comments. We have people joining from Sweden, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Riyadh, Nigeria, Brazil, Denmark, several. So I think, gentlemen, we have global presence here, representation. That's good to know. So now let's get into this. First of all, let's understand what is SAP's asset performance management. Um, this is a solution that's based out of SAP's supply chain management solution. This is the solution that helps you monitor the health of the asset, uh, improve improve the reliability and the performance of that asset, reducing the risk and the operational cost. That's what it is. And what are those modules that are relevant to this? PDMS, which is the predecessor of APM, and ASPM is another one. And again, it also complements and supplements EAM and Material Master and Analytics Cloud. So those are the things. Now, when we look at features and capabilities of it, so anything to do with predictive maintenance and analytics, anything to do with work order integration, anything to do with failure code analysis, anything to do with asset strategy and risk management, you have all those features available as part of SAP's asset performance management. Who uses this? From the name itself, we know that it's the maintenance and the reliability engineers, asset managers. So it's heavily into the operations and maintenance of it. And obviously, to understand the performance and the health of the asset, you would also have some of the top executives looking into that. And it's a fantastic product. We don't have to talk more about it because SAP has heavily invested into it. Now, going into this, diving into this topic, is that now let me ask, what kind of, again, this question is specifically to Anders and Ram. um, how can we bring excellence in asset performance management? Anders, you want to take the first stab
Please.
at it?
Yeah. So what's important to understand is in order to manage or actually perform tasks within the asset management field, you need to have a clear understanding of your assets, and uh, so modeling your assets in a way that is compatible with your actual value streams is very important, and that's actually what we're going to talk about moving forward.
Okay. So, Ram, from the excellence in asset performance management side, I mean, what do you see as uh, one of those foundational or cornerstone things as part of bringing in excellence?
As Anders has rightly said, and even it is portrayed in the slide, the pillar of any asset performance management is having the right data, right? The right data structures, the right data models, the templates being there for the data when it is coming from the process in terms of a notification, in terms of the outcome, right? When it is run on an asset, how asset is performing. The data, when it comes in, you have to analyze it against the standards, and then take informed decisions, right? And that informed decisions uh, to be reflected on the systems, and when system is driving the decisions, it becomes much more evident with the AI flavor coming into play when people talk about IoTs and IoTs, and how an human element of errors can be eliminated through process, augmented process and technology element. The foundation is the data, and that's more relevant, and most of the customers advocate it, and even the platforms and solutions are talking about it. So that's
Yeah.
that's the whole game plan. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. And it's actually all of them are interconnected. You need to have orchestrated processes across maintenance and planning. Then you need to have the unified asset data, and then only you will be able to bring in intelligent,
Abs-
insights. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
moving forward, yeah, and this, yeah. Now, one of the things is what is actually RDS 81346? And Anders, you have spent quite a significant time contributing to ISO 81346 and understanding it, designing it, making sure that everybody adapts it. So, can you throw some light on entire RDS 81346 and what is it actually?
I'd love to. So uh, we actually will start from the top, and that top being asset management. In this picture, the symbol for the 55,000 series
Yeah.
ISO standard. And really, what 81346 is all about is in the beginning to structure information for assets. And as you can see in the picture, um, asset information is really the foundation, as Ram mentioned before, is the foundation for good asset management practices. And so a standard that structures information for assets is very, very helpful for asset management, obviously. So the way it works is you will um, um, you will need to understand the stakeholders of your asset management and provide to them the right kind of organization of your data and your information so that they can use it.
Mhm.
And really, who are they? What do they want? What do they need? Well, you simply model your asset information according to those stakeholders and their needs, and you will end up with a very comprehensive model that actually caters to all needs for all asset management stakeholders. Um, so the ISO 81346 series standard is a standard that explains how to build modeling, and the name of that modeling is RDS. Thus, RDS 81346. It's a modeling principle based on this international standard series.
Okay. So if you can also give little bit of background on, how far this has been developed and is it ready to be adapted and used?
Sure. So it's been used I mean, it dates back to the 70s. Originally, it was developed for electrical engineering and has been used since then. But then for the last 2 decades or a bit more, actually, it's been adopted to other industries or other disciplines, rather. And it's one of the most well maintained and developed standards that I know of. Very, very active maintenance teams working to cater to all the needs and develop the standard in a way that makes it more useful. And yeah, so it now supports all assets, the whole life cycle, and all disciplines. So it's very, very powerful.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. And if I may also ask you that, there are several standards out there that are relevant to asset management. And, what is the differentiator here? What are those, key enablers, as well as what are those values? So if you can kindly deep dive into that.
Yeah. So while, for instance, ISO 14224, which is well known within the SAP PM kind of scenarios and ECC scenarios and so on, um, is actually developed for maintenance, for managing maintenance. It's this 81346 series, on the other hand, is developed from the start to actually cater to managing information, right? So and the context for this information management and organization is not really specific, for instance, to maintenance. Rather, it's specific to asset information throughout the life cycle, thus all asset management practices. And really, so the difference, for instance, between 14224 and the 81346 would be that the 81346 is more kind of asset management process agnostic, leaving you with a broader support, rather. So while when you want to implement, for instance, asset performance management and those kinds of value streams, you need something that is a bit broader and that can cover uh, more perspectives at once. And so the modeling in 81346 is based on allowing a variety of stakeholders to see their assets from their side, from their perspective. So it makes the standard very relevant to a lot of stakeholders, and um, that's really one of the values, also the versatility. But it gives you this common language where you can use this same standard for all disciplines, all assets, the whole life cycle, and really, and cover all the asset management processes. So in that sense, it's quite unique, actually, but also very robust.
Thanks, Anders. Because this is just the introduction of it. Probably at a higher level, what you explained is good enough now. But once we deep dive into it, and once we start understanding the different models and different aspects of it, probably we'll go further. Okay. You have been, Anders, you have been RDS 81346 practitioner. Harald also has been a practitioner of, RDS 81346. But we also have Ram, who has been a practitioner of 14224. So if I may ask, both of you that how is the modeling of RDS 81346 differs from 14224? So Anders, maybe you can just go on to the modeling of it, and then we ask Ram the same question.
Yeah. So in essence, the modeling in 81346 is very similar to the modeling made in SAP for assets, right? So you create these hierarchical structures where you have children and parents, and the entity that you model is objects. It's called objects in 81346. Very similar to the concept of, for instance, function locations in SAP. Not necessarily then material and equipment, for instance. So the 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 fundamental modeling principles are the same as you already use. However, the way the framework from each standard, the way the framework is applied differs a little bit. So there will be differences, but I think we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. Ram, if you can kindly.
Absolutely. So thanks, Anders, for the briefing on 81346. If you look at the primary differences, right, the way SAP or any institution looks at implemented EAM solution, looks at ISO 14224, though it is a 9-level hierarchy, they start at the equipment level and then try to build all the series or all the data elements below that, right? If you're looking at assembly, subassembly, and try to break it down, then to the component level, they focus on the assembly, subassembly, the components, and goes down. But broader picture, which typically left out in an EAM solution, which is required predominantly when you look at asset performance, because asset performance is predominantly broader one, right? Wherein interconnectivity, interdependency is important. So the product function and the location aspects, which RDS brings in as an additional flavor, which becomes very what you call very centric on doing the performance of an asset in terms of its operatability, in terms of its function, rather than just a product. That is the flavor which RDS brings in. And that's why the coexistence of both the standards, one fitting to the requirements of just work order management and scheduling in EAM for, suppose, say, an S4 HANA or ECC perspective, is good. It is sufficient to run the show. But having said that, when you go to APM, when you try to do what you call advanced reengineering processes, or trying to look at the effectiveness of an asset, reliability of an asset, and looking at the longevity of an asset, 81346 gives a broader picture. So this is a foundation to start with. We can have detailed discussions at
Yeah.
probably later sessions.
Thanks. There's a very interesting question from Ejemezu. Is ISO 81346 a replacement for 14224 since the former covers a broader scope? You know, Anders, you are you can answer that.
So yeah, no, it's absolutely not a replacement, and there are many things in 14224 that are not covered in 81346. For instance, maintenance practices and maintenance strategies and so on. So that's absolutely not covered in 81346. Let me be very clear on that. Also, 81346 sure has a broader scope, but it's also mainly a different scope. So they're very complementary, but not replacing one another.
So the bottom line is both need to coexist. One is from a plant maintenance perspective, equipment efficiency perspective. The other one is from the asset performance management perspective, right?
Just to give one more flavor to it, Anders, is only from the perspective, as you said, see, you don't build the task lists in 81346, or you don't get into the reliability engineering modeling referring to ISO 45,000 or 55,000 series and drill down into the asset itself when you want to maintain it, right? So that is what ISO 14224 gives in a flavor with other practices of ISO 45,000, 55,000. The purpose of 81346 is very unique on its nature, which we will drill down. I think, as you rightly said, they have to coexist, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's also another interesting question. Is there any alignment to C4 standards, when it comes to 81346?
So the short answer is yes, in the sense that there is they're discussed in the same room. 81346 is also a standard series that is part of a broader family for information management, actually. So there are a lot more standards that are kind of 81346 compliant or from the same family, where 15926 is also one of them, very tightly tied to CFOS. And but so yeah, there are connection points, but it's and compatibilities, but they're really not. They're playing on the same field, but not the same sport.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Also, CFO standard is used especially during the handover, process wherein the data lifecycle management is considered, be it in the greenfield projects or wherever you have the handover mechanism, and which is much closer to 15926. But actually, the 81346 is something that has got a different perspective. Now, moving on. Um, Now, if we have to look at the implementation of 81346 in SAP, how does that get implemented? Anders?
Yes. So while you traditionally will have traditional function locations, so to speak, will be part of one tree family, one family or one hierarchy, and so on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
your assets, according to 81346 in APM, will be um, um, expanded into several trees, giving you the possibility, as I mentioned, to look at them from various perspectives. There are three in the picture here, but really there can actually be as many as you like. Not too many, because it gets unnecessarily complex. But so you find your right number of hierarchies, and then you explain your assets through those, and those all have characteristics that make them very suitable for different asset management purposes. Then, but so yeah, you make a breakdown of, for instance, your asset. In this case, an excavator. You will have it broken down according to, in this case, three different aspects, enabling you
Hmm.
to look at it from those sides.
Ram, would you like to also add something?
Uh, I second the thoughts from Andrew on this, because of the reason that this entire process modeling, right? When you actually take an asset, try to look at the asset from the reliability perspective, and then try to say that, okay, how reliable is my asset? Interconnected objects, that is the technical objects, and then translate it to the studies which are required for reliability, right? Right from root cause analysis, function point analysis, and take it forward into failure mode, and then talk about risk-based mechanisms, which can be RBI, RIS, or any other studies, wherein we are setting a base for the organizations with this model to be reliability centered and maintained, right? So that's the whole framework which is
Yeah.
getting built when you look at the organization from the standards. Thank you.
By the way, this screenshot, thank you. By the way, this screenshot is from SAP's APM system. So the courtesy is SAP. It's directly created out of the solution that PiLog has built on RDS. Now, moving on, if this is so good and all of those things, how do we deploy it? How do we implement it, and what are the deployment strategies for that? If it is just brief, um, let me just also give you a bit of lead on that. Can this be deployed quickly, Anders?
Well, the short answer to that is actually yes. Might surprise you, but this is surprisingly easy. And the reason for that is you will keep your assets. Let's start from the principle that we have a current setup, right? So you would like to convert or expand your current setup, to also support APM and 81346, then it's
Yeah.
possible. You will actually start from what you have and expand from that, and you can expand in the pace that suits you,
Mhm.
and that's very powerful because you won't lose any history or data of any sort. You can maintain your current operation, but you can add new capability to it. So it's
Okay.
yes. The short answer is yes. That was a short answer. It's very easy.
Excellent, excellent. And I would like to hear from Harald. What exactly is the smart RDS concept? And why are we calling it as a smart? How smart it is? I mean, how quickly can we get something built? If you can, Harald.
Well, thanks. Smart RDS. Well, smart RDS is a framework. You need kind of you need a framework. You need something to really make it easier on your journey. It's a journey that you will take on, but
Hmm.
smart RDS is a methodology and a framework of getting you on that road. As Anders said, yeah, you can make it quickly. It's a quick fix now. It takes you the time it will take you, but
Hmm.
you will have tools on your journey, on your way. So it's a good framework that would lead you and guide you in the right way with uh, right answers and questions. They're building the governance, building the using the tools and the yeah the tools and the right strategy on getting you from a stage where you are today and being speeding up that process and having a plan. You need kind of the plan in the long term of your vision all the way through. So smart ideas is a framework with a toolkit behind it and with a software that will help you also realizing and enabling 81346 and the transition.
Yeah. Can we see the screenshot of the smart RDS? How does that look like?
There we go.
Okay. So what do we have here as part of smart RDS? We have several of those, capital assets or the, complex assets. And then this is an example of excavator, right? And, you have different nodes there, which are actually product aspect, function aspect, as well as the location aspect of it. And you could, so what exactly is this whole smart RDS? Does it come with any validations, or how is it building the structures, Anders?
Well, so it's a combination actually of following the standard principles for breakdowns and reference libraries that look up designations, and then you also have uh, validation in the sense that you get the feedback whether you're modeling in the right way or not. So it's with the application support, it gives you a very a powerful tool to kind of get to know this. What it might seem when you look at the picture might seem very complicated. Well, it's not, and mainly because you will also only work within the structures that, as I mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
that you're interested in, because from your field of work, being, for instance, you're more interested in the functional parts or the product parts or the location parts and so on. So yeah, uh, it's it's a very powerful tool for actually developing or modeling the assets and developing the models. Yeah.
Yeah, so in summary, what we are saying is that there is a solution, that has got smartness in terms of business validations, structure development, and hierarchical linkages and relationships. All those things are embedded, and it has also the governance, master data governance, because this is actually an industrial system object that also needs governance, while it exists throughout its life cycle. And again, I would like to emphasize that to all the audience is that this is the first series of the webinar, and we're going to dive into it. Because of the time constraint, we have to stop here, but we will definitely come back with a lot more onto the RDS 81346. So in summary, what we learned is that there's a very, very good standard that is in practice, not somewhere theoretically, it is in practice. And there are also tools that helps build those RDS structures for the assets, the complex assets, simple assets, be it into the utility industries or any of the oil and gas industries or any asset centric for that matter industries. And this is also fully integrated with SAP solutions such as S4 HANA as well as SAP APM. And then in summary, in short, we need 14224 as well as RDS 81346. And if you have any challenges understanding RDS 81346 or implementing it, and if you have a requirement wherein you need training, enablement, empowerment, we are here. You can contact us, and we would be able to offer you any help that would guide you towards your futuristic roadmap of SAP APM implementation. So thank you, Anders. Thank you, Ram, and thank you, Harald, for your time. And we shall come back for the next series as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much, Imad.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day and good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And we are there. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
Thank you.